1. Retirement is not about going all in. It's about staying. In retirement isn't a sprint, it's survival. Not just financially, but emotionally. The goal isn't to beat the market in a single year, it's to stay positioned, year after year, while storms come and go. And that's exactly where most people go wrong. They either swing too hard, chasing the next hype coin, or they freeze, doing nothing while inflation eats away at their savings. Both extremes are dangerous. One mistake can cost a decade of recovery, but so can blind inaction. That's why the smartest move isn't dramatic. It's strategic. A simple 5% allocation to XRP inside your retirement account can change everything. It gives your portfolio exposure to real-world utility, upside potential, and a hedge against fiat erosion, all while keeping 95% of your strategy intact. That's not gambling. That's modern diversification. Because staying in the game doesn't mean standing still. It means adjusting to new realities, legally, securely, and with purpose. The economy is shifting. The dollar is unstable. And digital assets like XRP have matured to the point where even conservative investors can step in without risking everything. So no, you don't need to go all in on crypto. But you also can't afford to stay stuck in 1995 thinking. The new game has started. 5% XRP may be your ticket to staying in long enough and strong enough to win retirement with clarity, not fear. Two, the myth of safe. Traditional allocations. For decades, financial advisors pushed the same sacred formula: 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Diversify, stay conservative, sleep well at night. But in 2025, that comfort is a dangerous illusion. Let's face it, the world that made the 60-40 model work no longer exists. Bonds? Many yield less than inflation, if not negative in real terms. Index funds? Still tied to the same Wall Street machine that nosedives on every rate hike or geopolitical tweet. And worst of all, this safe allocation offers zero protection from the silent killer of every retirement: currency debasement. The 60-40 model assumes stability. But this isn't a stable world. So why are retirees still playing by outdated rules? That's where your XRP and IRA strategy must evolve. Because in a fragile, fast-moving system, true diversification doesn't mean 12 mutual funds that all collapse together. It means adding something fundamentally uncorrelated. 5% XRP is not about betting on crypto. It's about positioning against systemic weakness. It's about injecting speed, utility, and global liquidity into a portfolio built on slow, outdated structures. And yes, it's about surviving what's coming, not clinging to what used to work. If your advisor still talks about safe like it's 1995, it's time to ask yourself, are they protecting your retirement? Or just repeating a script that's already failed millions? 3. Why 5% XRP isn't reckless, it's strategic. Say crypto to the average retiree, and you'll see one of two reactions: fear or disbelief. Because to most people, crypto still sounds like gambling, like putting your life savings on a roulette wheel and praying for green. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about going all in. We're talking about 5%. Just 5% allocated to XRP inside a secure, tax-advantaged structure like a XRP Roth IRA is not reckless. In fact, studies from Yale, Bitwise, and Fidelity show that portfolios with a small percentage of digital assets consistently outperform traditional-only portfolios over the long term. Why? Because digital assets, when chosen wisely, bring non-correlated growth potential. They move differently, they're built differently, and they're shaped by different forces than stocks, bonds, or cash. And XRP? It's not just any asset. It's one of the only digital assets that has real-world utility through RippleNet, institutional interest, legal clarity in U.S. courts, low transaction costs, and high speed. Growing support within retirement custodianships. This is not a YOLO move. This is asymmetric positioning. Small exposure, large upside, minimal risk to your core. While the rest of your IRA remains in slow-moving, stable instruments, that 5% XRP could be your lever, the one piece of the puzzle that turns survival into outperformance. Because in retirement, you don't need to double your money every year. You just need to make one strategic decision that the majority overlook. 4. XRP is different. Utility, not just hype. Let's get one thing straight. XRP is not a meme coin. It's not built to entertain traders, pump overnight, or live on social media hype. It was built to solve a real-world trillion-dollar problem. Slow, expensive, unreliable global money transfers. And it's doing exactly that, right now. XRP isn't a dream. It's deployed. It's powering institutional-grade cross-border payments across RippleNet. Major financial institutions, banks, and payment platforms are using XRP not because it's trendy, but because it's faster, cheaper, and more efficient than SWIFT. So when you allocate 5% of your crypto IRA XRP strategy to this asset, you're not speculating. You're investing in infrastructure, the financial pipes of a new global system. That's not hype. That's adoption. Most cryptocurrencies hope for real use cases. XRP already has them. This is why it belongs in your retirement plan, because the goal of XRP and IRA isn't just growth. It's durability. And nothing says durable like utility that institutions are willing to bet on. Meme coins rise and fall on tweets. XRP is being integrated into central bank projects, remittance platforms, and institutional rails. It's moving billions, soon to be trillions, in real-time volume. So yes, 5% of your retirement portfolio deserves to be in crypto, but only if that crypto is built for purpose. And XRP was built for exactly this purpose: a stable, scalable, real-time asset for a digital economy. 5. Legal clarity makes 2025 the turning point. For years, XRP lived in a legal gray zone, not because it lacked utility, but because the U.S. regulatory system hadn't caught up. That uncertainty kept millions of investors, especially retirees, on the sidelines. They waited for clarity. And in 2023, they got it. A federal judge ruled that XRP is not a security when traded on public exchanges. That one sentence changed everything. It unlocked the door for major custodians, retirement platforms, and financial advisors to finally include XRP in IRS-compliant structures. And that's exactly what happened. Now, in 2025, we're witnessing something historic. For the first time ever, XRP and Roth IRA retirement plans are 100% legal, fully accessible, and already supported by top-tier crypto IRA custodians. This isn't theory. This is a working system, available right now. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Legal windows don't stay open forever. Once the ETFs go live, once the institutions flood in, once regulations get rewritten again, that clean, early access entry point to XRP retirement account strategies may narrow or disappear. This is your moment. Not next year. Not after the next bull run. 2025 isn't a maybe. It's the moment. The year the law caught up, the tools aligned, and the gate opened for smart investors, especially retirees, to move with clarity. Miss this window, and you may spend the next decade wishing you hadn't. 6. Historical models. How 5% made a difference. What if we told you that just 5% crypto exposure could have changed the trajectory of your retirement portfolio? Not in theory, but in actual historical backtests? Over the last decade, Diversified portfolios that included only a 5% allocation to digital assets consistently outperformed those that stuck to the traditional 60-40 model. And no, this wasn't just during bull markets. Even factoring in crypto's infamous volatility, the math held strong. Why? Because when you introduce an asset with asymmetric upside, you don't need 50% exposure. You need just enough to capture exponential growth, while the rest of your portfolio stays anchored. It's the power of low-risk positioning with high-reward potential. And that's exactly what XRP offers today. Unlike speculative altcoins, XRP has institutional-grade fundamentals. Utility that moves real money through RippleNet legal clarity to fit inside a XRP Roth IRA or crypto IRA XRP. A global network of adoption that's expanding by the month. The data already proved the model. Now, XRP is the next evolution of that strategy, with one key advantage. It's still early enough to act. Because once institutional demand ramps up, and XRP gets packaged into ETFs, retirement funds, and sovereign wealth portfolios, that clean 5% allocation window will close or become crowded and expensive. The best time to follow the data was yesterday. The second best time is right now. 7. Custodians. Now make it easy. Let's be honest. Most people over 50 don't want to mess with wallets, seed phrases, or blockchain jargon. And the good news is, you don't have to. Thanks to platforms like iTrust Capital and IRA, opening a fully legal, secure, and simple XRP and IRA plan has never been easier. These providers specialize in retirement-focused crypto accounts that are IRS compliant, fully insured, and built specifically for long-term investors, not tech experts. You don't need to understand how RippleNet works. You don't need to watch charts or manage private keys. You simply choose your allocation. For example, 5% XRP, and these custodians do the rest. In just a few steps, your XRP Roth IRA or crypto IRA XRP account is live, and your XRP is working inside a structure designed for retirement growth, with potential tax advantages depending on the account type. This is not just ease of use. This is accessibility at scale. For the first time in crypto's history, a retirement account tied to digital infrastructure is as easy to open as a traditional IRA. And that's why the opportunity is real and rare. Because when something this powerful becomes this simple, it doesn't stay small for long. So don't let "I'm not a tech person" be your excuse to stay on the sidelines. Let the experts handle the back end. You just need to make the decision. 8. Managing volatility with intelligent allocation. Let's not sugarcoat it. XRP is volatile. Like every digital asset, it moves fast, sometimes unpredictably. But here's the truth no one explains well. Volatility isn't the enemy. Unmanaged exposure is. You don't need to avoid XRP. You need to position it wisely. That's the beauty of the 5% strategy. When XRP makes up just a slice of your XRP and IRA, you gain the upside without exposing your entire retirement to risk. If XRP dips during market turbulence, your core holdings stay intact. But if XRP surges during mass adoption, which is what we believe is coming, that 5% could do more for your long-term growth than the other 95% combined. That's the math of asymmetric investing, where small allocations provide outsized reward potential with minimal downside threat. Inside a XRP Roth IRA or crypto IRA XRP structure, this becomes even more powerful. You're not just gaining exposure, you're gaining tax-advantaged growth potential, and all of it wrapped inside a compliant, managed framework. Smart investors don't avoid volatility, they use it intelligently. So instead of fearing the swings, understand them. Instead of avoiding crypto entirely, place it where it can amplify your retirement, not destabilize it. Because in an uncertain world, certainty is a myth, but intelligent allocation is a strategy. 9. From safety first to future-proof. As retirement approaches, most people shift into defense mode. And that's understandable. After all, you've spent decades building your savings, and you want to protect it. But here's the problem. In a world where inflation, currency instability, and market manipulation are the norm, playing defense isn't enough. Preservation is wise. Future-proofing is essential. If your portfolio is built entirely on fiat-backed assets, bonds, dividend stocks, cash, then it's anchored to systems that are slowly losing relevance. And worse, losing purchasing power. That's why smart investors are adding XRP, not to replace traditional assets, but to connect their retirement to what's coming next. XRP isn't just a coin, it's a bridge, linking your XRP retirement account to the rails of a global, real-time payment infrastructure. While other assets erode, XRP connects to a growing system. RippleNet, CBDCs, instant cross-border settlements. That's real momentum, and it's not speculative anymore. Inside a XRP and IRA Roth IRA retirement plan, that connection becomes even more powerful. Exposure to next-generation finance, legal structures to protect it, tax-advantaged wrappers to grow it. You don't have to abandon safety. But if you ignore innovation, you're not preserving wealth. You're slowly draining it. A truly future-proof retirement means combining stability with adaptability. And today, XRP is one of the few assets that gives you both. 5%. Could be everything. When the system shifts, the next financial shock won't announce itself. It won't send a press release. It won't wait for your retirement plan to catch up. It'll just happen. Quietly, suddenly, and without warning. Whether it's the dollar losing credibility, banks consolidating into fewer hands, or crypto ETFs exploding in mainstream adoption, one thing is certain. When the shift comes, it will reward those who were already positioned, not those scrambling to react. That's why 5% matters more than most people think. It's not just about having some crypto, it's about having the right asset in the right place at the right time. And with XRP now legal, accessible, and integrated into crypto IRA platforms, the opportunity is sitting right in front of you. That small allocation, your 5% inside a crypto IRA, XRP, or XRP Roth IRA, might be the difference between stress and confidence, between scrambling and stability, between reacting and leading. Because when the financial system shifts, and it will, those with XRP already in their retirement structure will be calm. They'll be protected. They'll be ahead. The rest? They'll be forced to act too late. So ask yourself, are you preparing or postponing? Don't let the system choose for you. Diversify IRA with 5% XRP for long-term stability and take control of your retirement legacy before that window closes forever.